Okay, it's ready to go.
Okay.
Thank you, Sharon. I will leave you.
Okay.
Closing the door.
All right.
Privacy.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Cheyenne Smith.
Cheyenne, so nice to meet
Nice
you.
to
And
meet
I'm
you.
Sharon. Come on in and let's get started. I understand you've got an interesting background and some lovely information as far as your experiences. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am a mother to a 2-year-old little boy, and I'm co-owner of Triple C Energy Services. Me and my husband have an oil field company, and I am just graduating with my medical assistant certification, and I'm hoping to continue my education in nursing and get my bachelor's with CCU. And
So tell me, what makes you think that you're a perfect match for UC Health? And what would you like to accomplish at UC Health?
I think I am a perfect match for UC Health because I have a great personality and I'm very outgoing, and sorry, I'm getting really nervous. UC Health, I have researched the background information about UC Health because I have always enjoyed going there while I was pregnant because the staff was great. And so I feel like I would fit in perfectly with how the staff interacts, as well as once I get my nursing degree, I know that there's opportunity for growth with UC Health Company.
Okay. What do you have to offer University Health right now?
I have my medical assistant certification, as well as I know my phlebotomy and my injections, and I can do catheters, and I can do UAs and HCG tests.
Where do you see yourself working, feeling most comfortable at this moment at UC Health? We're a very large corporation. The hospital, the labs, the doctor's offices, the clinics, it's pretty all-encompassing, all the way down to the rehab facilities. So tell me where you're seeing your skills, your schedule, your personality best matching.
I feel like the best match would be the doctor's office.
Okay.
Because medical assistants, it's usually a first start area, and it's like a baseline. And I feel like a baseline would be a good start for me since I'm just getting out of college.
Okay. Given that you are looking at an entry-level position, you're looking at doctor's office, you're looking at traditional hours. Are you ready for a 40-hour week?
Yes.
And you are set both with childcare and your ability to get to work on a routine basis? This is not something that's an issue for you. And then you talk about wanting to go back to school. Is that something that would then interfere, or are you looking at night school, or how are you looking at this working?
It's online for the first year, and then the second year I go to clinicals, and clinicals is only once a week, and I can do it on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Okay. Okay. So you really have thought this out pretty significantly. As you're looking at the medical assistants, you will be working with doctors, with patients, obviously, that's our priority, with other nursing staff, with billing, with all of that. Tell me how you work with people. How is that? How are your communication skills?
My communication skills have gotten better the older I have gotten, I've noticed. And I feel like I communicate very well with people once I'm not nervous.
That's a true statement, isn't
Yes.
it? So then we can laugh a little bit and you can relax in your bit. But true. So you're in a tight room.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a mom and a screaming baby.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a doctor who is already behind schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got 2 other rooms that have patients in there. You know everybody is frustrated.
Yeah.
How are you going to maintain the calm?
By helping with the child first. The screaming child makes everything more nerve-wracking. So if you help the mother with the child, calming the child down, and then moving on to help with the other patients while the doctor is with the mother and the screaming child has already calmed down, then it'll help flow a little bit better.
Okay. Person in the next room is really frustrated because they've got an appointment to get to. What are you going to say?
I will tell them that the doctor is already with another patient and that he will get to him as soon as he can. Usually it's within 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. And that very definitely boils down to your communication skills, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Don't leave somebody in the dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Let them know what's going on. Now, what about the paperwork piece of it? We know that every bit of this is necessary to document.
Yeah.
In many of the clinics, many of the doctor's offices, you will be required to be the little silent person in the back taking notes.
Yeah.
Are you capable of being online, taking notes on the computer?
And helping? Yes. Multitasking is something I've learned very well with becoming a mother, because you can't function every day without multitasking.
Okay. So that's a benefit.
Yes.
In that role, you're going to be flipping from setting up a room to caring for the patient to getting the necessary materials for the doctor and doing the note-taking. With the note-taking, what's the most important piece of that legally?
Legally is what the patient comes in with, and then quoting what the patient says, and then also putting the date and my initials, saying that I'm the one who took the notes.
Okay. And as far as privacy, what do you know on that? What are...
With HIPAA?
With HIPAA, what do you know about that?
I know that you can't go around talking about other patients' information. You can't talk to other family members of the patient without the patient's consent. It stays between the doctor or the nurse and the patient.
Okay. What about if there is a situation that the work isn't done by the end of the day?
Then you stay over and you get the work done until it's done.
Can you take it home and finish it?
No, because that's against HIPAA.
That is very definitely. Very definitely. Yeah, okay. You probably, in our clinical setting, will not be doing much with billing, but you do have to fill out the paperwork to make sure that all of the codes are there.
Okay.
You up to date on codes?
Yes, I just did my codes a few months ago.
And tell me on your certifications. What have you been certified on as far as being up to date on for medical purposes?
I am up to date on my CPR and my first aid. I'm up to date on my clinical medical assistant certification, as well as my bloodborne pathogens and my blood pressure one. I'm pretty sure it's a certification too.
Okay. The process that will happen as you come into the clinic is that there's going to be a learning curve, very definitely.
Yeah.
We'll have you shadow one of the nurses so that you will have someone to learn from, to learn the expectations of this office. They will be your go-to person. They will be your mentor. So as far as chain of command, we want you to know that you will start there.
Mm-hmm.
If there's concern, how would you handle conflict?
I go to the supervisor.
Okay. Would you start there?
Yes, because if you confront the person themselves, it could cause more conflict. So it's better to have a meeting with the supervisor in between the two people, me and the other person that I'm shadowing.
Okay. And then as far as, let's see, what other do we have here? Background knowledge, and you are set. Oh, tell me a little bit about when you would be prepared to begin work.
Right away.
Right away?
Mm-hmm. I've
Okay.
already got my daycare taken care of. I've had it taken care of for a few months now.
Okay, so you are available immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. That is a good set. And so as far as questions that you might have, what questions do you have about UC Health, about?
What do you look for in an employer?
In an employee?
Employee, sorry.
Look for someone who is bright, has a work ethic, is able to make good decisions, knows how to problem solve, is able to think on their feet, is not afraid to ask a question, but is not so frantic, so worried that they have to ask a question every minute, is able to get their work done, is able to think, and is able to process information so that the flow of this very, very busy office can continue.
Mm-hmm.
I also like someone who's cheerful, has a positive attitude, and is dedicated to our company, dedicated to our goal of making health a priority for all. So, if that's something that looks like you would fit right in with it, we would be happy to have you on board. And as we finish our interviews, we'll be back in contact. Thank you very much, Cheyenne. This has been a delight in working with you. Okay, now I'm going to have you sit down and we'll take a look at this whole thing. So, compliments to you on your amazing ability to make eye contact.
Thank you.
To smile, to even laugh a little bit at yourself, to say, oh yeah, I have great confidence when I'm not nervous, when I'm not in the middle of an interview. And you know what? That kind of broke the tension for you.
Mm-hmm.
The interviewer already knows that you're going to be nervous.
Yeah.
They already know that.
Yeah.
That's a given. But for you to just go ahead and, that was a perfect
Okay.
opportunity.
Okay.
So be real, be
Mhm.
involved, be right
Human?
there. Yes, be human, be part of this. And you did a great job. So
Okay.
that is lovely. So eye contact, body language, poise, overall impression, absolutely
Okay.
fantastic. You did a great job on that. Prepared, has answers to expected questions. Expected. You didn't know what I was going to ask, but were you prepared? Did you know what the medical field and what?
Yeah.
So yes, you knew. Could you summarize your qualifications?
Yes.
You did a good job. You did a good job.
Like,
You
I have
told-
so many qualifications, it's kind of hard to remember sometimes.
But you know what? That's okay. This is fine for you to have this. And I would encourage you to bring, go on over to the office supply store or go to Walmart or go someplace and get just a nice little folder.
Okay.
Don't spend $100 on a leather-bound notebook. Spend 59 cents
Okay.
on a nice folder that isn't all bent up.
Yeah. Okay.
On one side, put your resume, put your references. You might even put the letter of introduction, your letter
Okay.
of application
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Just a copy of it.
Okay.
The last thing that you want is every business is going to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
So do you have any questions about our business,
Mhm.
about our company? And if you say, nope, I do not have question, they're going to say, wow, you are not interested in us at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you are pushed at that moment,
Mhm.
you're going, I can't think of a question.
Yeah.
So if you write down a question or two, that's perfect.
Okay. That's what I was thinking about doing when I was coming in here today.
And for me,
Mhm.
I find that this part I already know.
Yeah.
I already know this about myself. So I don't have to have this.
Mhm.
But my question up here, I
Yeah.
put on a little sticky note,
Mhm.
and it's over on the left side of my folder.
Mhm.
On the right side of my folder, I have a couple of blank sheets of paper
To take notes.
to take notes. You are welcome to take notes.
Okay.
If somebody asks you a question, especially if it's a two-part question,
Mhm.
you can jot down a note.
Mhm.
You can ask, what did that mean?
Mhm. Okay.
If they use a word, especially if they're using something technical or something specific to that company.
Yeah.
Say, would you explain that one a little bit more to me? I had a student who was interviewing, and they used a term that was similar to another term, and she was so nervous that rather than ask for clarification,
Mhm.
she jumped in and started answering. And the two words, even though they sounded similar, were so different in meaning. She missed it completely. And they looked at her like, really? Do you even know what our company is about?
Yeah.
So feel free to ask for clarification. Feel
Okay.
free to ask
Okay.
for clarification.
Okay.
And that would be just fine. There's never a problem to ask for someone to repeat a question or to say, tell me that one more time.
Mhm. Okay.
So, so all of this shows knowledge of employer, yes. Ask good follow-up questions, has copy of resume. You had everything. You did all of it. Well-spoken, listens well, gives appropriate answers, ask good questions about the employer. You did all of that. So very definitely, I am quite impressed. Quite impressed. Couple of things that I would make a suggestion on. And one, I think you are darling. I think you are as cute as can be. And I'm going to suggest,
Okay.
I am going to suggest that that's not the dress that you wear. That would be a beautiful dress to go to a wedding in, to go out on Saturday night, to do all of that.
Okay.
You don't know who your boss is going to be.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. This is the only one I have.
You know
I
what?
gained a lot of weight with pregnancy, so it's the
And you know what? That's it. For me, it's not a problem.
Okay.
But I will tell you
with an
that
actual, yeah.
for an actual, you are going into an office. You're not going to a cocktail lounge. So think about where you're going.
All right.
I would say you probably want something that is, I don't want you to feel like you have to be a prude,
Okay.
but you probably want something that covers your chest, because if you're working in an office,
Yeah.
they are going to expect that you are bending down, that
Yeah.
you are leaning over, that you've got little kids, that you've got little
Yeah.
old ladies, that you've got all sorts of people. You need to be able to greet the public,
Okay.
greet their patients,
Okay.
and you're representing a professional office. You're representing the doctors. So they're going to expect that you dress like
Okay.
that. So my suggestion is you probably want something that has
Okay.
sleeves
Yeah. Okay.
and you're covered.
Okay.
Although I would say that if you were going on out, you would have to be making your husband just smile every time he sees you wearing that, you know. But truly, that's one. And even if it is something that you have to say, you know what, I am finishing this program.
Okay.
Graduation is coming up. As a graduation gift, could I? And it might be that you're saying to your husband and to your parents, collectively, would you get me an outfit I can interview in?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And you'll wear it. You'll wear it a lot, but
Okay.
it's something that you will feel better in wearing something that somebody is not saying, wow, that is great cleavage. And they'll say, so we had 5 people we interviewed. Which one was this one? Oh, yeah. Ooh. You do not want to be remembered for that. Okay? Because you've got a whole lot more to offer than just. So, but that I would say, you know, everything else. And this is actually, it breaks it down pretty. Proper dress, makeup, jewelry, overall cleanliness. Honey, you present yourself beautifully.
Thank you.
You know, so I'm just going to say, consider different dress.
Okay.
Everything else. Exceptional. And then there was one little comment down here.
Okay.
I'm going to just give you a grammar lesson, if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. You were talking about past employment, past jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, and me and my husband.
My husband and I.
There you go. There you go. If you will say my husband and I, you will sound so much more intelligent.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. You know what?
It's like word vomit, you know.
That's right. And it's much easier for you to do it with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for me to give you feedback because I care about you. And it's safe.
Yeah.
This is totally safe.
Yeah.
If, for example, you were doing this in a regular interview, they just say, let's move on to the next person. And you would never, ever know why.
Yeah.
But I can tell you
Yeah.
because I care. So that would just be that I would really encourage you to
Okay.
think about that. And as you're talking,
Mhm.
your little boy is going to start hearing you talk.
Yeah.
This is what you want him to be
say,
able to say instead of saying it like he is not quite as well schooled as you'd like him to be.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am very, very, very pleased. Everything that you have done. And you know what? Truly, the only concern
Mhm.
would have been your dress.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you another little hint on that one, just because I'm going to do a 4+ on this and say, absolutely, you are ready.
Okay. Thank you.
Your back strap
Yes.
is torn.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's half out. So if you were wearing that one and the last 2 stitches came out,
Mm-hmm.
you would be in a world of hurt.
I just bought this dress for my anniversary with my husband a month ago.
Oh, well, it needs a couple stitches back there, but that's, so
Okay.
really you have done
What is
it.
it at?
I'll show you. I'll just turn this one off here so that we're not wasting all of Mike's day.
I noticed my strap kept falling and I couldn't think of why it kept
That's
falling.
his stuff. Okay. Turn around and off. Right here. You are 3/4 out. So that
Okay.
would be,
I can sew that up.
yes, you can. It's not torn. It's
Okay.
just when they had done it, it had not caught. So questions you have for me?
No, I feel pretty good, except for my nervousness. I just need to get over that.
You know what? You won't.
Okay.
And that's okay. That heightens your
Mhm.
awareness.
Yeah.
Just say, I'm going to be a little anxious. I'm going to be a little hyper aware. And you don't even have to use the word nervous.
Okay.
It's not being nervous, it's being just hyper aware.
Okay.
But I'm going into this with these feelings because I care.
Okay.
Think about if you were going into a job interview for a job you really didn't want.
Yeah.
Would you be nervous?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No. You wouldn't give a rip.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter to you one little iota.
Yeah.
But if you are going into a job that you truly, truly care about,
Mhm.
of course you're going to be interested, excited, anxious, prepared, yes, hopeful,
Mhm.
a little on edge, absolutely. And are you going to want to present yourself in the very best way possible?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so talk about, what makes me look professional?
Mhm.
What makes me feel professional? What makes me show the world that I'm professional? Now, part of it is, and this is a real benefit,
Mhm.
you don't play with your clothes. You don't play with your hair. You sit there and you present yourself as, I'm ready. I am truly ready. And that is awesome. I am very excited about that because you look engaged.
Mhm.
You've got that brain power that says, okay, I'm confident. I've got all of that. Give yourself that advantage.
Okay.
And one other thing that I will tell you,
Mhm.
most employers
Mhm.
don't have a big deal on tattoos.
Okay, yeah. That's why I got it right here because I knew that I wanted to be a nurse one day, so I knew I could cover it up with my scrubs.
There you go. Most do not have,
But my piercings.
but you don't want it
Yeah.
ahead of time. You don't want to advertise it
Yeah.
before.